Pradeep Multani, President of PHDCCI, our Chairman, Mr. Sandeep Wadhwaji of Logistics Committee. May I request you, sir, to kindly come on the dais. Sanjeev, if I can request everybody, those who are standing outside, if they can come inside and settle in the hall. Ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon to you once again. A very warm welcome to you. I'm Yogesh Srivastava from PHDCCI, and in the Logistics Committee work with Mr. Sandeep Wadhwa as the chairman of this Logistics Committee, and this initiative is of Logistics Committee. Along with me, we have the Secretariat member, Mr. Ajay Bansal, along with Sanjeev and media team, Aprajita and all. We all are here. And today's discussion is basically Waterways. The theme is Waterways connecting people, India and Bangladesh. So this is the focus theme of today's, and I would request that since the PHDCCI is an interactive platform, so we would be taking some of the questions also at the end of the session. So before we start, let me request each one of you to kindly stand up for the national anthem. Thank you. And before we start the proceedings, no problem. Thank you. Before we start the proceedings, the tradition of PHDCCI is we need to light the lamp. May I request dignitaries on the dais to kindly come, our chief guest secretary, sir, and our chairman and president. Please come and light the lamp, please, sir. A big round of applause. Thank you. Which brings prosperity and the ecosystem to have a nice set of interface as far as this session is concerned. Well, to formally welcome our distinguished chief guest with the PhD Chambers Green Initiative. And basically this is for prosperity, and our theme is, and as our name is, Progress, Harmony, Development, Chamber of Commerce. And we say, if the progress, harmony happens, the development happens by default. So may I request Mr. Pradeep Multani, our president, to kindly give a small plant to Dr. Sanjeev Ranjan, Secretary, Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, Government of India, with this prosperity plant. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. President, sir, I would request you to kindly also give a prosperity plant to Shri Sanjay Bandyopadhyay, Chairman, Inland Waterways Authority of India. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. I would request my chairman, Mr. Sandeep Wadhwa, to please welcome Mr. Akshat Bhatia, Head of Multimodal Works, South Asia. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. So as I have said that waterways connecting people, India and Bangladesh, and our chairman, Mr. Sandeep Wadhwa, has been, advocating and, advising that how it is basically this entire thing is going to help, how it is going to help not only connecting people, but at the same time, how the business is really going to take shape. So may I first request Mr. Sandeep Wadhwa, chairman of our logistics committee and also the director of JM Bakshi and Company, to kindly give and set the theme for today's discussion. Over to Shri Sandeep Wadhwa. Sir, please come, and dais is yours. In fact, the mic is yours.
Good afternoon. Dr. Sanjeev Ranjan, Secretary, Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways. Shri Sanjay Bandyopadhyay, Chairman, Inland Waterways Authority of India. Commodore Ghulam Sadiq, Chairman, Bangladesh Inland Water Transport Authority. Yes. Mr. Pradeep Multani, President, PhD Chamber. Mr. Akshat Bhatia, Head of Multimodal MERS South Asia. Dr. Yogesh Shrivastava, Assistant Secretary General, PhD Chamber. Managing Committee members, friends from the media, all participants and dear friends. Waterway transportation is a popular mode of transport for freight and passenger traffic globally. Due to the manifold logistic advantages, and therefore it has become the need of the hour today. In order to match with the global economies, Government of India is focusing on improving the coastal shipping and inland waterways mode of transportation by undertaking various initiatives to promote these sectors. Indo-Bangladesh Protocol on Inland Water Transit and Trade is one of such initiatives to use the waterways for commerce between the two countries. India's trade with its seven South Asian neighbors also has been undergoing a significant shift since 2014. Under the able guidance of PM Modi, the most notable development being the rise of Bangladesh as its largest trading partner, and also the development of inland waterways between India and Bangladesh. 8,480 kilometers of the navigable waterway of Bangladesh could be utilized for transportation and distribution of goods between Bangladesh, India, Nepal, and Bhutan, which could anchor robust business relations through the optimal and holistic development of the ecosystem of waterways between India and Bangladesh. In the light of the logistics advantages of the Indo-Bangladesh protocol routes, we understand that the Government of India has recently connected the protocol route with National Waterway 2 on mighty Brahmaputra River and National Waterway 1 on Ganga River for transportation of food grains, shipments from Patna to Pandu in Assam via Bangladesh, covering a distance of 2,350 kilometers. The success of this expedition has certainly paved way for increasing the volume of traffic through the protocol routes in the future times to come. PhD Chamber of Commerce will also take this opportunity to appreciate the India and Bangladesh joint initiative of developing the Indo-Bangladesh protocol routes to improve the connectivity between the national waterways to boost inland navigation in the Northeast. And we also appreciate the efforts of Dr. Ranjan and Mr. Sanjay Bandyopadhyay in this regard. With the accessibility of inland waterways transport trade between India and Bangladesh, the trade between India and Bangladesh is expected to increase and generate more traffic on the national waterways, which will also create job opportunities in India and Bangladesh. With these notes, I would like to conclude my remarks and will look forward to a meaningful and insightful deliberation for the industry stakeholders today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much for setting the tone and theme for today's discussions. Ladies and gentlemen, we have also been connected with Commodore Ghulam Sadiq, NGP, NCC, PSC Chairman, Bangladesh Inland Water Transport Authority. A big round of applause for him. Ladies and gentlemen, he is connected all the way from Dhaka. And before I proceed further, we have a very meaningful person with us today, and he is Mr. Akshat Bhatia, Head of Multimodal Merck's South Asia. May I request Mr. Bhatia to kindly come on and please share the presentation. What is the industry wish list and what you feel that under this system, under this program, what should be the wish list of the industry? Over to you, Mr. Bhatia.
Sorry, so first of all, with due respect, I already asked for a few more minutes than was allocated to me, more from a perspective to share not just what Maersk needs as an organization, but what the industry also demands. First of all, thank you so much to the audience for being here. Nice to see so many of you here. And thanks also to the Maersk team and Ajay ji from PhD for doing the coordination for the event. Distinguished guests and dignitaries, Shri Ranjan ji, it is a pleasure to speak with you listening to us. Shri Bandyopadhyay ji, I've actually had the pleasure in the past of speaking with Mr. Jayant, on previous forums. So quite excited to be here and share further thoughts. To gentlemen from PhD, Mr. Sandeep Vadwa, he is not only the chair of the logistics forum here, but also organization who we work very closely with as JM Bakshi or Boxco. To Commodore Ghulam joining us from Bangladesh, and I'll talk a little bit about the NW2 and how it transits via Bangladesh as well later. And Shri Pradeep Multani. So thank you so much for having Maersk as a partner today on this event today. Now, you can see the screens in front of us. So Maersk is not only a shipping company today, it is more than that. We are an organization that actually serves the customers end to end, offering various products and business streams that ensure that our customers can access a lot more in the global world. We are, of course, coming out of a very interesting time. You call it VUCA, VUCA, it's a changing, adapting environment post-COVID, and supply chain has never been more disrupted than it is today. Maersk enables you to kind of get end-to-end partnerships for our customers. And that is why we are very, very keenly looking at waterways and cross-border to expand our portfolio. And I'll talk about that. And I'll hopefully walk away with a very bold commitment to the desk and the dais today. Moving on, this is something that we've been tracking very closely. I have a colleague here, Gyan. I remember 4 years ago, Maersk actually was one of the pioneers on this when we moved empty containers on the NW1 from Varanasi to Kolkata. It was a major milestone for us and something we celebrated quite happily when we were able to do that. It was also when PM Modi, Shri Gadkari and everybody else had announced the vision to actually expand waterways as a navigation channel and to move freight traffic on it. And we were, pleased after PepsiCo to be the pioneers on this route. Today, more than 20% of the global traffic actually moves on a Maersk vessel or a container somewhere or the other in the world. 1 in 5 containers today, therefore, move with us. And that basically means a connect with customers, and the feedback I brought for you will hopefully help us shape the future of waterways as we go along. I'm just putting some of the customers we work with on the screen, and I'll just name a few so that it kind of resonates as to why some of these customers are on the screen. Today, there are Indian customers which establish business presence in Bangladesh who are looking to aggressively expand. It is a market with a SAFTA trade agreement and other things on the table where Indian shippers are aggressively looking at as a market. At the same time, Bangladesh is fast emerging as a fast-moving goods and manufacturing industry for merchandise exports, especially for the retail, lifestyle, and apparel customers. So whether it's Decathlon, H&M, Marks and Spencer's, or Zara, most of the goods are today produced in Bangladesh and then moved to the rest of the world. Similarly, every Indian company from Tata Steel and Tata Motors to some of the names I mentioned on the screen and some of the companies we're already partnering with are looking to expand very, very aggressively in Bangladesh. However, the cost at which we do the business today, the transit time, and the ineffectiveness in logistics is simply not sustainable for both companies at both ends to scale that up. I'm going to just cite a couple of issues that the trade faces today. The first is the ever challenging issues that we have at the road crossing. So the road logistics between the two countries remains heavily hampered. More often than not, we hear stories about the borders being closed. Of course, COVID accentuated a little of those challenges, but even post-COVID, we are noticing scenarios where the border often shuts down. On average, once a quarter, we see challenges as far as road logistics is concerned. What has also changed over the last few months and years is the ocean connection between India and Bangladesh. And that's basically not allowing all weather routes to move cargo between India and Bangladesh, India and Chittagong, Dhaka, and so on and forth. And these situations have become all the more severe with the way the world is changing and disrupting how customers' cargo flows. But this is what we can offer to our customers. This is based on the study that we have done. And one of the Maersk vision right now is to improve life for everybody by integrating the world. And with that, I'll share with you what we can offer to the customers. The photo you can see is of the movement that we did of containers from Varanasi to Kolkata a few years back. And it was, as I already said, it was a moment of a lot of pride for us. But there are 4 things and data points I'd like to touch upon. The first, believe it or not, it takes 30 days, 27 to 30 days today to move cargo between the production hubs of India and the consumption hubs of Bangladesh. It actually takes a lot more to move cargo back from Bangladesh to India, probably 40 to 45 days. In addition, there are challenges in access to containers. There are issues in access to space and capacity. The product that we are talking about today, NW2, actually can get your cargo all the way from the coast of India to the inland points of Bangladesh in less than 10 days, 9 days to be precise. That is a saving of 67% as far as the transit time is concerned. The NW2 itself has the opportunity to reduce logistics costs by 40% between trade between India and Bangladesh. Every penny saved here is actually passed on to the end consumer in both the countries. Whether it is you or your family shopping at a mall for goods made in Bangladesh, or it is the Bangladeshi consumer in Dhaka going to a mall and buying goods from India. Allowing NW2 to become a robust shipping channel and growing the business here can actually save more than half the costs that are spent on some of the logistics of the goods. And logistics on this lane represents nearly 24% of the costs that are spent by companies while trading. And on the bottom right of the screen, you will see a very interesting graph. This is the increase of trade from India to Bangladesh. There is a similar growth from Bangladesh to India, but this graph that you see is a representative, and the last bar graph that you see is 2021 trade. It has gone up by more than 3 times over the years as far as trade is concerned. And today, both the countries are amongst each other's top 5 trading partners at any given point in time. I'll talk about the last piece in the end. But before I make the bold commitment that I'm making today, my vendor partners are here with me today as well. I think it is very critical for me to share some aspects on what support we need with policy. First of all, river customs is a topic that needs a lot of attention and time. Today, India has significantly advanced thanks to the Prime Minister's vision to ease how logistics works in the country, to reduce logistics cost. We have significantly improved how sea customs works. It is extremely critical to have the same view as far as river customs is concerned, to ensure that customers do not get stuck either at the docks in Khidarpur or at an inland point in India or Bangladesh. Second, it is allowing access of the inland depots within India and Bangladesh to access to the river routes, which basically means if I am an exporter based out of New Delhi, loading my cargo, let's say out of Dadri, I should be able to connect it seamlessly via the river route, by any of the river channel ports that are available on this network. This not only enables lower cost for the customer, but it also allows sustainable logistics because it allows rail to come into the foray and connect here. And that makes it a truly multimodal product. Third, a robust port infrastructure. Here, I should actually take a moment to also compliment people from Bangladesh and Commodore for you, because what we have noticed is the channels in Bangladesh and the berthing facilities are super high quality. Also because it has been, the rivers there have always been something they have developed since their independence. And then last but not the least is year-round navigability. Actually, NW2, when it moves between India and Bangladesh, allows that, especially on the river route. But there are challenges on NW1 that we need to improve. as well as NW2 once the ships and the barges leave Bangladesh and enter India all over again. With that in mind, we would like to make this bold commitment to expand Waterways as Maersk. And, I'm sure by us doing it, other industry partners will also follow in this in big detail. What you see on the screen is, of course, the known map where you see the Sundarbans and various points on how a barge or a small sea vessel can enter the coastline. But on the next slide, what you will see is the offering that we are building today with our vendor partners. This is a route that goes completely on the river route through the Sundarbans. It is not an easy navigable channel, but we have now done enough test runs to tell you that it is possible. Today, most of the cargo, if at all, it moves via bulk on this route. And the idea is to introduce containers for trade between India and Bangladesh and India, which will not only make road cargo actually move to container and save pilferage and theft. And I'll give you one interesting example here. We were in Morbi, which is the hub of tile manufacturing in the country, and something very close to even the Prime Minister's heart as a hub of cargo generation. And we understood that a person from Morbi who has to send tiles to Agartala can take almost 20 to 25 days to make the cargo reach there. And that includes 20% breakage of cargo as it passes through hilly terrains or gets stuck. The Waterways actually allows you to get the cargo all the way from Morbi to your own country in Agartala in less than 14 days. And it ensures there is no breakage because your cargo is always sealed within a container. And therefore, I introduced to all of you a product called Mishti by Maersk. Today, we have done some trial runs on this. Our next phase is making this a weekly service. Our next barge run actually happens on the 28th of June, where we have, a cargo from Tata Motors, as well as Coca-Cola to put on the ships. Coca-Cola is exporting sugar and Tata Motors cars. Post these runs are completed, we hope to make it a weekly service this year. And we would like to actually make a bold statement subject to the policy improvements that we could actually run a service a day between both the countries come Feb and March next year. And with that, I will thank everybody at PhD for organizing this. Dignitaries on the dais for listening to me. And thank you so much. And I wish IWI, NW1 and NW2 all the success. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bhatia. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts and then seeing that through Waterways, not only the Coke, but the car is also going to be shipped from one place to another. And thanks to your team, those who are sitting in front. Ladies and gentlemen, before we go to next, we have a very important person, Commodore Ghulam Sadiq from the Bangladesh Inland Water Transport Authority. I have the proud privilege to share his brief profile. He is an ex-cadet of Rangpur Cadet College, commissioned on 1st July 1989 in Bangladesh Navy. He received naval training from the Royal Malaysian Navy. Commodore Sadiq commanded various naval fleets and camps like a missile boat, patrol craft, mine sweeper, offshore patrol vessel, and frigate. He led 3 training camps, namely Shahid Muzam, Isha Khan, and Bangladesh Naval Academy. He achieved Peace Medal and Naval Award Medal in the year 2014 for his remarkable contributions in various operations and training activities of Bangladesh Navy. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Commodore Sadiq. And as we have always been saying that India and Bangladesh are the natural partners. May I request Commodore Sadiq to kindly share your thoughts, and the mic is yours. Over to you, sir. Please unmute yourself and then speak.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Yogesh Srivastav, for introducing me. And thanks to PHDCCI to invite me and allow me to be connected virtually. I was very worried that whether I could participate when I received the invitation. Today's chief guest, Dr. Sanjeev Ranjan, IAS, Secretary of Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, and a guest of honor, my counterpart and very well-wisher of me, Sri Sanjay Bandyopadhyay, IAS, Chairman, Inland Waterways Authority of India, Sri Pradeep Multani, President, PDHCCI, Sri Ken Srivastava, IAS retired, former Secretary, Government of India and Director, India International Center. Sir, and all the distinguished guests present, and I'm very sorry that physically I could not be present, but nevertheless, I'm really proud and honored to be with you and give my views. Just now, I was very attentively listening to Sri Akshay Bhatia, head of multimodal marks, that they had really gone into details of these inland waterways, which is a blessing to Bangladesh and India to be connected. We are really, as the introducer was telling, that Bangladesh and India are natural friends, and our friendship is of blood friendship, because our liberation war was totally, we were partners in achieving our the independence. So we really, the people of Bangladesh, always cherish the friendship, that our the helps or assistance, whatever need, always we got India beside us. So we are really proud that your trade is used through our land towards the northwestern part of your country, and import export of India is done through our roads, rail, and waterways. Really, we are working hard to improve the connectivity, as Honorable Prime Minister Modi has given the Gati Shakti and all other programs that since he has came into the helm of affairs. And definitely this side, our Honorable Prime Minister has also given the highest priority to improve the inland waterways transportation sector. We are working to develop our 10,000 kilometer of inland waterways. Side by side, we got a lot of investment to develop our port facilities. Also, there are contributions from Indian side in our waterways. We are improving some of our navigability of waterways by 80-20 share, where India is contributing 80% of the share, and we are giving it 20%. That's a very great gesture of in part of India. And also on line of credit, we are developing our Ashuganj container port, and other also in maritime sector. Also, there are a lot of line of credit projects that has been moving very quickly. To give you the good news, we had some of the bottlenecks to start the project of Ashuganj container yard, but today we had a meeting in our ministry. Just I am coming from there. We are very soon, we are going for the tender procedure, and hopefully by this year we will start, inshallah, the development of the civil construction part, and also the equipment procurement, the protection, bank protection part of the Ashuganj container yard, especially that is being developed for the purpose of Indian trade to be smoothly transported from through inland waterways, then to Ashuganj, and from there to the other parts of India. If we look at the history, we have signed this protocol in just after Liberation War under the leadership of our father of the nation, Bangabandhu, in 1972, but we couldn't make the headway. As we have started in this century, means early 2001, there was the movement of cargo was, if you look at the statistics, it was around 100,000 tons in a year. But even despite the COVID restrictions, 2021 financial year, we have carried around 3.9 millions of tons, the huge, almost 40 times increase of trade volume through the inland waterways. And this year till March, we have crossed last year's volume, and almost definitely we are going to cross it by the end of the year. This June is June 30. It will cross, I think, the 4 million metric tons of trade. And if you look at the number of ships that, or vessels that have crossed through the inland waterways from India through Bangladesh or Bangladesh, India. There were 428 in 2001 and 2, but this year, last year, we have carried 4,139, and this year we are going to cross it, I think, 4,500 plus. So a huge activities going on in our inland waterways. Rightly, Mr. Bhatia was telling that we have a lot of challenges, but there are a lot of projects also taken in hand side by side together with India and Bangladesh. We have World Bank funded project in Jamuna corridor, and I'm sure on Brahmaputra on Indian side also the similar projects have been taken. And we have really good communication with IWI and BIWTA. Often we have telephone conversations. Whenever Bandhavadai sir calls me, if I don't receive the call, I call back in a short time, or he also communicates me. And really we have a good headway. And whatever challenges we have the joint committee made, the technical committee. Very often, or 6 monthly, we are visiting each other's ports and inland waterways facilities. Definitely that will make us ahead, as you are depicting or as you are expecting. Sir, finally, I would like to make the comment that Bangladesh and India are connected through many ways, and inland waterways is one of the best way to be connected, because this is a natural connection and this is a blessing from our this is from the Almighty has given us this natural gift that we can, the friendly two countries can be connected through, and we should use the best, make the best use of this facility. And so far we were talking about the trade of cargoes, but still after 2019 we couldn't make any headway of the tourism, which we had really cherished to develop, and also the movement of the passengers through the inland waterways. I'm sure IWI or the Shipping Ministry of India and our Shipping Ministry will together work on that. And I will invite the operators, especially the tourism operators, to start this again as the COVID is diminishing. I'm sure there are a lot of few that apprehension that again COVID is increasing, but I'm sure with the vaccination and with the protection we can start it, so that we do not do the delay and forget to take the opportunity, that huge interest in waterways tourism, or there are a lot of expectation from the tourist side. So this is one thing that we are still lacking behind, and definitely we will look forward to take it ahead. Sir, once again, thank you very much for inviting me and to be here and speak a few words. I mean, once again, thanks to our Shipping Secretary of India and also my counterpart, Chairman of IWAI and PHDCCI. I'm sure if you invite me to be connected with this kind of workshops, seminars, and exchange of views, I'll be there always. And thank you once again for arranging this seminar. Good luck. Joy Bangla, Bangladesh Chirojibi ho.
A big round of applause. Thank you very much, Commandant from Dhaka, and he has really shared the policies and what are the initiatives that the Bangladesh government is taking. Sir, I must share it with you. PHD, that is Progress Harmony Development Chamber of Commerce and Industry, is having a very robust tourism committee, and we will also, as you have said, be taking up this issue not only with the Ministry of Tourism, and as you have said, not only the goods but the people should also be transported. So I think it's a very big dream from our side also, and we will ensure that this happens with the kind help of our Honorable Secretary who is there today, and of course with the Chairman, and we will be taking up such things with the Ministry of Tourism also. And as we have said that India, Bangladesh is the natural partner. Ladies and gentlemen, he has said 4,500 vessels are really going to be crossing, in this year. So we give a big round of applause. That's the way the Indian-Bangladesh, business strengthens. And as I have always been saying, it's a natural partners. We here at chairman and you there at the chairman of Bangladesh, a common language. Khub bhalo business hobe. This I can say on behalf of PHDCCI. Ladies and gentlemen, let me now request Mr. Pradeep Multani, President of PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, to kindly share his views, and then we will come to the chairman and also then to the chief guest of the day, Dr. Ranjan. Over to Mr. Pradeep Multani.
Thank you, Dr. Yogesh Srivastava. Namaskar. Good afternoon to everyone. On behalf of PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I'm greatly honored and pleased to welcome you all to the Inland Waterways Summit. Waterways connecting people, India and Bangladesh, with Chief Guest Dr. Sanjeev Ranjan, IAS, Secretary, Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, Government of India. Guest of honor, Shri Sanjay Bandyopadhyay, IAS, Chairman, Inland Waterways Authority of India. Commander Gholam Sadiq, BSP, NDC, PSC, BN, Chairman, Bangladesh Inland Water Transport Authority, who has virtually joined us as special guest from Bangladesh. We thank all our dignitaries for taking time from the busy schedule and to address the industry members. I also welcome the other eminent speakers, Mr. Sandeep Badwa, Chair, Logistics Committee of PHDCCI, Mr. Akshat Bhatia, Head of Multimodal MERSEC South Asia, in the program, and extend a very warm welcome to each one of you. Welcome also to all participants, friends from media, our ASG, Dr. Yogesh Srivastava of PHDCCI. PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry has been working as a catalyst for the promotion of Indian industry, trade and entrepreneurship for the past 117 years. It is a forward-looking, proactive and dynamic pan-India apex organization. As a partner in progress with industry and government, PHDCCI works at the grassroots level with strong national and international linkages for propelling progress, harmony, and integrated development of the Indian economy. PHDCCI, acting as a voice of industry and trade, with a large membership base of 150,000 direct and indirect members, consisting of large, medium, and small industries, has forged ahead, leveraging its legacy with the industry knowledge across multiple sectors to take the Indian economy to the next level. At the global level, we have been working with the embassies and high commissions in India to bring in the international best practices and business opportunities. India comprises a significant sized maritime sector with 12 major and 200 plus non-major ports situated along its 7,500 kilometer long coastline and a vast network of navigable waterways. The country's maritime sector plays a crucial role in its overall trade and growth, with 95% of the country's trade volume and 65% of the trade value being undertaken through maritime transport. India has increased the modal share of cargo from 0.5% to 2% and has witnessed 19% year-on-year growth in cargo volumes over the last 5 years. India has over 5,000 kilometers of navigable inland waterways under development. India's modal share of freight moved on inland waterways has significant potential to improve compared to other best-in-class benchmarks. It is imperative to increase share of the country's inland waterways as they are highly economical and an eco-friendly mode of transport. Inland waterways contribute 6% of the country's freight modal mix, while adjacent developing economies such as Bangladesh, 16%, and Thailand, 12%, have a higher share of water-based transport, highlighting the scope for improvement for India. Coastal and inland waterways account for 5% of the overall container movement in India, as compared to 5 to 15% of coastal transportation and container movement globally. India needs a digital platform for national waterways that augments inland waterways infrastructure to drive higher usage of waterways. A unified digital platform will result in transparent, availability of information, higher stakeholder interaction, increased traffic on inland waterways, safe voyages, better communication, enhanced monitoring, and increased public-private investment. With these notes, I would like to conclude my remarks and will look forward to the meaningful and insightful deliberation for the industry stakeholders. Thank you. Joy Bangladesh, Jai Hind, and God bless our brothers and sisters of Bangladesh and India. Thank you.
Thank you, President. Thank you very much for your remarks. And once again, there are a number of people on the WhatsApp, those who have joined us virtually are asking. Ladies and gentlemen, let me share it with you. Mr. K.N. Shrivastava, the director of India International Center, he is busy in his meeting, so he could not join. That's why I did not ask him to speak, and he is also not available virtual. So that's why I skipped. So I hope I'm clear. So we also welcome all the people, those who are not only in India, those who have joined virtually, but also friends from Bangladesh. Before I request the chief guest of the day, we have a very renowned person with us. That is Mr. Sanjay Bandyopadhyay, the chairman of Inland Waterways Authority of India. I have the proud privilege to share it with you, as our president has said, that this is basically eco-friendly, and he has also highlighted the digital navigator, which is basically going to use. I am sharing his brief profile. He is the chairman of Inland Waterways Authority of India in the rank of Secretary, Government of India. And he has worked earlier with Additional Secretary, Government of, as Additional Secretary, Government of India, Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, Principal Secretary to Government of Madhya Pradesh, Department of Technical Education and Skill Development, CEO of National Automotive Testing and R&D Infrastructure Project under Ministry of Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises, Government of India. And ladies and gentlemen, let me also share it with you. He was Secretary, Energy, Power and Renewable Energy, Government of Madhya Pradesh, Chairman, MP Power Trading Company and Managing Director, MP Renewable Energy Corporation, responsible for power generation, transmission and distribution, Managing Director, Madhya Pradesh Laghu Udyog Nigam Limited and State Industries Corporation. He was also Secretary, Agriculture, Government of Madhya Pradesh, Member Finance of the Madhya Pradesh State Electricity Board and Additional Secretary to Government of Madhya Pradesh and District Collectors of Sioni, Chhindwara and Jabalpur. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Mr. Sanjay Bandyopadhyay. And now he is heading the Inland Waterways Authority of India as the chairman. And we are very proud to have him over here. Ladies and gentlemen, let me request Shri Sanjay Bandyopadhyay, Indian Administrative Service, Chairman, Inland Waterways Authority of India, to kindly come and then speak his vision, and especially the vision of IWAI. Over to you, sir. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for him.
I have actually a presentation. Okay, thank you. Respected Dr. Sanjeev Ranjan, Secretary, Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways, Government of India, Mr. Multani, Mr. Bhatia, Mr. Vadva, Mr. Shrivastava, delegates and members of PHDCCI, ladies and gentlemen, friends from media. As the earlier speakers have told, and of course, Commodore Ghulam Sadiq, as Commodore Ghulam Sadiq has told in his speech, that the way India and Bangladesh is connected through waterways, I just want to highlight certain facts. And while I go through the presentation, I'll also give the details which have been, which are more than and has not been highlighted by some of the speakers. India has 20,000 kilometers of navigable length, which is 111 waterway. Presently, 23 have been found to be feasible for cargo and 25 for passengers. Total 19 are operational, and the NER has a large kilometer of waterways, 2,225. The Indo-Bangladesh protocol route is 2,755 kilometers. This year, the IWI has, the inland waterways have carried 109 million tons of cargo, all-time high. And for India, it carries 2% of the modal share of transport. We want to increase it to 5% and then to 7%. It's not moving. Work from here or there? Okay. So you can see in the chart the growth of inland waterway transport and the commodity profile. Coming specifically to business with Bangladesh, as Commodore Sadiq has told, we have increased to 5.4 million tons. And mostly it is fly ash, because this fly ash goes to Bangladesh into the cement plants and brick making and other things. But in addition to that, a lot of rice, wheat, sponge iron, stone chips and coal are also moving. So there is a diversified mixed. And as one speaker, Mr. Bhatia, has told, long queue of trucks standing. The another option which people are trying to give is use the waterway. There is a river at Benapole, Petrapole on the sides, which can be used for transport. And the advantage is that the custom clearance will be done at Kolkata, river jetties, sealed, and straight away it can go to Bangladesh. Because presently, in the stage which you see, 90% of the vessel belong to Bangladesh. So the trade of Bangladesh is in the transport, vessel transport is getting the maximum benefit. So once sealed, it can seamlessly go to the other side. In the road, there are certain quotas of trucks which have been allocated. And beyond that, then there are other procedures which can be circumvented using the vessels. So we are trying to develop and reduce the congestion even in this main trade route between India and Bangladesh. If we see the history, before 1947, a lot of trade was being done between the countries, and the northeastern tea, agriculture produce used to come to Calcutta port and Chittagong port using these waterways. The commodities used to freely flow using these waterways. And then in 72, there was the protocol, there was treaty, and this protocol was formulated, which was further developed. Presently, under this Indo-Bangladesh protocol route, there are 10 declared routes, which is 2704, 2755 kilometer. There are 13 declared ports, one port which Commodore Sadiq told Ashuganj is under development, which is a route to Tripura and to the Barak Valley. There are 8 bunkering stations, and you can see the large number of port of call, equal on both sides. The routes also, their corresponding routes start from Kolaghat to Silghat. Silghat is right at the end of Assam, and Kolkata, of course, is Kolkata Riverine Port. Then from Kolkata to Badarpur, which is a port of call in Barak Valley, just before Silchar. Then it is Dhulyan to Aricha, which is a part going towards Assam. Silghat to Badarpur. From Upper Assam to the Lower Assam can also go through the water route. And Sonamura and Daud Kandi, which is a route, direct route to Tripura. In all, in the year 21-22, 5,152 voyages were completed, which involved nearly 4,891 vessel and the voyages, and the major commodities which were shown in the pie chart. And the total cargo was 5.4 million tons. On the Indian side, we have provided night navigation, custom clearance facilities, which are being improved, mooring facilities, bunkering facilities. We have a whole chart of the draft available on our Pani portal. This is on the Indian side of the waterway, as well as NW1 and NW2. So the vessel operators can use this facility and the assets efficiency can increase. The Tripura side, because if things go through the chicken neck, it's a long route. This is also connected. Sonamura has a floating jetty. We are constructing a permanent jetty there. The Narayanganj and Daudkandi route, we plan to further improve the draft there and carry cargo as well as ferry passengers. The route towards Karimganj and Badarpur will use the Ashuganj, as Commodore Sadiq had told, that this water terminal will see development very soon, launched next year. And a new portion of this Maya and Aricha route is under development. But I want to inform you that the private operators of India have already shown interest. We have permitted them to set up their own terminal till we bring a common terminal. 3 of them have been given permission to start their operations through terminal for the people and also dredge the area till the Indian border. A lot of stone chips and food grains are going on this route. This route, once it comes, it will reduce the distance between the NW1, that is Varanasi, to Guwahati. We had recently done a pilot project of sending food grains from Varanasi to Guwahati via the Bangladesh, and the steel of Tata Steel from Haldia port to Guwahati. And we got a lot of help of Bangladesh Inland Water Transport Authority. Commodore Sadek knows about it. When there were certain problems because of bend, they had helped and got our vessel moving. So this route, once developed, we have a joint committee which is doing the survey and try to finalize the project report of dredging. But we are seeing a lot of interest from the private sector. They are bringing stone chips from this part, that is this Pakur, and moving through Maya and constructing the terminals themselves, and also trying to dredge a part of it. Then we are talking about NW2, the fairway between Dhubri and Sadia is being dredged. We have come out with a tender. Presently, there is a depth of 2 meters, 2.2 meter. We'll take it to 3 meter and 2.5 meter to increase the cargo offtake there. And other routes of Sirajganj, Daukhova and Ashuganj, Zakiganj on the IBP route, which will connect the Silchar and Barak Valley. Some of the cargo plans to go also to Chattogram. We are trying to survey the Feni River, which is closest route from Tripura to Chattogram, and the total this crow flight distance is just 30 kilometers from the border to the Bay of Bengal. And this can work out, so Tripura will get a direct access to Chattogram, and the trade between the two countries can increase. The eastern ports will also get advantage. They can be connected through river sea vessel to Hooghly River and to Bangladesh. Bangladesh can also send their material to Indian ports and India, and the Indian traders can also get an access to it. The various ports which are being developed in Bangladesh and the Indian side, have been shown here. But in addition to that, Bhutan has shown a lot of interest. The neighboring country, they are sending stone chips and other material via Dubri port to Bangladesh. And they have, Jogigopa is the intermodal terminal on Brahmaputra, which the construction has started. In 2 years' time, that will be a multimodal terminal connected also by not only riverine port, but by national highway and train route. And Bhutan will be able to send a lot of cargo to through the waterways of India and Bangladesh to the ports. Similarly, Nepal has also requested to be connected through Kalughat on NW1. So we are trying to develop this eastern connectivity between both the countries. The river Ganga Hooghly system connected to Bangladesh, the Brahmaputra, Barak Valley, Tripura river system connected to Bangladesh. And talking about the cruises, I want to inform the House and Commodore Sadiq that these cruise operators, one of the cruise operator, leading cruise operator, had declared the movement of cruise this year from Varanasi to Guwahati via the ports of Bangladesh. And similarly, 2 more new cruises will start from Kolkata through Bangladesh, going right up to Dibrugarh. So Mr. Raj Singh will be sending his cruise from Varanasi to Calcutta through Dhaka and to Guwahati and Dibrugarh via Kaziranga. So these are the routes and the passenger cruises which have shown interest. And he has already started the booking and seeing a lot of interest. We had a cruise conference in Mumbai in which the foreign cruise operators like the Viking cruises have also shown interest in moving. So with this, I end my presentation, and I am sure that the connectivity through waterways, which IWI and the ministry is trying to do, will help the trade of both the countries. You people may be having more innovative solution. We are doing a lot of things on the digital part also. As told by Mr. Bhatia, we are using the same digital platform of NLP Marine on our terminals. We are trying to, because of a web-based system, we are bringing and training our people to start it. And we will try to increase the efficiency of the terminals, the waterways, the other navigation system, so that maximum trade can take place between both the countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman, sir. Thank you very much for your wonderful remarks. A big round of applause for Mr. Sanjay Bandyopadhyay for sharing it with us that the cruise is also going to start, this year. And as you said, sir, that there would be a conference in Mumbai. Let me request you on behalf of PHDCCI and would like to take this opportunity. We have a very robust tourism committee, sir. We would love to be connected with this conference, cruise conference, and we will ensure that all concerned stakeholders come at one platform, and then we would be also able to share the industry wish list over there. So ladies and gentlemen, the time has come when we request our chief guest of the day to speak, but I have the proud privilege to share a brief profile of Dr. Sanjeev Ranjan, though he has told me to speak a very brief profile, sir, but allow me to have whatever I have got it in terms of my colleague Ajay has given it to us. Ladies and gentlemen, I am sharing it with you so that you all know that Government of India Secretary, who is now basically the in charge of this, and his profile over here. Dr. Sanjeev Ranjan has served in the Indian Administrative Service for over 35 years and has extensive experience in formulating public policy on finance, logistics, power, and infrastructure development. He assumed the post of Secretary, Ministry of Shipping on 30th April 2020. He previously served as Secretary, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways and Chairman, National Highway Authority of India. During the period, the ministry undertook large private public infrastructure projects, adopted infrastructure investment trust and toll, operate and transfer for financing, implemented FASTag to make 100% toll plaza electronic, toll collection, enabled and promoted road safety through amendments in the Motor Vehicle Act 1988. Dr. Ranjan also worked on national security infrastructure planning as Joint Secretary, Ministry of Defense, and Secretary, Border Roads Development Board. As Director, Ministry of Heavy Industries, he was involved in the formulation of the national automobile policy and vision for making India into a global automotive hub. He previously served as Chief Secretary in the Government of Tripura, Additional Secretary and Financial Advisor in the Ministries of Road Transport and Highways, Shipping and Tourism, Principal Secretary in the Department of Power and Finance. He has also served on the board of number of companies in the power, infrastructure and tourism sectors, including NHDCL, SCI, ITDC, OTPC, etc., and also the National Dairy Development Board. Dr. Ranjan received his BTech in Electrical Engineering from IIT Kanpur, MBA from Faculty of Management Studies, Delhi University, and MPhil Economic Development from University of Glasgow, United Kingdom. Dr. Ranjan completed his PhD on the impact of information technology use on efficiency in public sector enterprise at IIT Delhi. He also received a degree in Masters in Public Management at the National University of Singapore. During the program, he was attached to the Monetary Authority of Singapore and studied the impact of 2008 economic crisis on Singapore's growth as an international financial hub. Ladies and gentlemen, let me share it with you. He is an alumnus of National Defense College, New Delhi, and he was a National Talent Search Scholar and also a Lee Kuan Yew Fellow at Harvard University. A big round of applause for him. As Mr. Bhatia was asking, the policy. So I must share it over here. We have Secretary over here who is not only experienced, but at the same time, he will also answer all your policy related questions. Over to you, sir.
Dignitaries on the dais, Mr. Yogesh Srivastava for making a rather long kind of introduction. I think it was one of the longest that I've heard, but anyway, thanks a lot for that. Mr. Sandeep Wadhwa, Chairman of PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, my colleague, Mr. Sanjay Bandyopadhyay, Sri Sandeep Wadhwa, Sri Akshat Bhatia, Sri Pradeep Multani ji, thank you for being here. Thank you, Mr. Ghulam Sadiq, Commodore Ghulam Sadiq from Bangladesh, who has kindly joined us and has given us insights as to how our partnership is moving forward. And hopefully in the days to come, we'll be moving forward in a manner so that all the expectation that industry has, we'll be able to fulfill that. Ladies and gentlemen, and people who have joined us on the web, I thank you all for joining in. The kind of opportunities that the waterways have to offer, you have already got an insight from all the previous speakers. The expectation that industry has, the way it can help down to bring the logistic cost, being a mode which is environmental friendly, greener, is all well known. The kind of great work which Inland Waterways Authority has done parallelly on the Bangladesh side, Commodore Sadiq, as he mentioned, the investments have been made. The waterways that connect us, that have traditionally connected us, were the lifeline for trade and commerce in the eastern part of our country. And today, with the recent initiatives that the government on both the sides have taken, we have this, the protocol route, which has been there since 1971. But in the last few years, recent 4 or 5 years, the governments on both the sides have aggressively moved forward. And whatever policy glitches that were there, the agreements which needed to be set right, have all been put in place. You have this new agreement for access to Chittagong and Mongla. You have an agreement on coastal shipping between India and Bangladesh. We have an agreement on cruise tourism between India and Bangladesh. All these have happened in the last 4 or 5 years. And mentions of that were made in the previous presentation. And they have opened up a new world of opportunities for trade and business on both the sides to harness the potential for the fullest. There were infrastructural gaps in the sense that the waterways needed to be developed. For that, on the Indian side, we have a full-fledged program called the Jal Marg Vikas program being done on NW1 by the Inland Waterways Authority of India. A number of terminals have already been commissioned. The Indo-Bangladesh protocol route, thanks to the kind of support and the work which is done by Bangladesh, now the entire route from NW1. For example, recently we had cargo shipments going all the way from Patna to Pandu, food grains on barges going from Patna to Pandu, following the same route, speaks of the kind of infrastructure which is already there in place. We had a 2,000-ton cargo of steel moving from Haldia to Pandu. This also happened in April, May this year, which proves that the navigability of the route is well established. With that being in place, I find there's a lot of industry interest. I would thank Mr. Bhatia for the kind of announcements that he has made today with respect to regular movement happening on this route. The cruise movement, which Mr. Bandyopadhyay mentioned, which are planned in the days to come, all the way from Banarasi to Dibrugarh, speaks of the kind of opportunities that exist. Now, I would like to I'd like to invite all the members of the PhD Chamber of Commerce Industry to see it as an opportunity to be able to reduce the cost of transactions, cost of trade that happens between our two neighbors. We are emerging as major trading partners. In the previous presentation, Mr. Bhatia talked of the kind of time it takes to have motor vehicles cross from this side to that side, something of the order of 30 to 40 days because of various reasons. The Petra Pole crossing, the problems of the land borders, etc., and the kind of solutions which he has given, and the kind of solution which Mr. Bandyopadhyay and Commodore friend from Bangladesh have mentioned, can do it much faster. Waterways may appear to be a slower mode, but on this particular circuit, the industry itself has given you the insight that waterways turn out to be faster, cheaper, and more environment friendly. With the volumes of trade going up, in the recent past, we had problems, for example, the shipments of garments for which Bangladesh has become a world leader. When they move out of from some of those destinations there, they have to encounter congestion at various locations. Now, with the kind of agreements that we have between us, the coastal shipping agreement, the expanded protocol agreement. Now, in just last year, we expanded the scope of the Indo-Bangladesh protocol in the sense that we had additional segments added. The stretch from our side, from Duliajan to Aricha, that's the place where the Pakur stones used to go from India to Bangladesh, from the northern part of Jharkhand into Bangladesh. With this stretch getting added, there's already a lot of business interest which has got generated. Stone, fly ash, and other things which go from India to Bangladesh, the volumes we already discovered. More than 4,000, 5,000 vessels are doing every year. The volumes are going up. With the new addendum to the IWT protocol route and the new routes getting added, now the vessels don't have to go all the way down into the Bay of Bengal and then come up. They can straight go from Ganges into Bangladesh and then to the northeastern part of our country. With the second addendum routes being added, now Mr. Bandyopadhyay already have businesses which are interested in setting up terminals on our side, on Maya, so that the stone from Pakur can be taken through these routes into Bangladesh, where there's a huge demand. And it is all an industry-led initiative. They've also got into setting up the infrastructure, setting up the terminal facilities, which shows that there's eminent business sense with all these agreements and policies in place. The opportunities have emerged. I'd like to thank the organizers for having this meeting. It happening in Delhi is particularly important, where waterways don't tend to be discussed. And I would like to thank the PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry for hosting it here. But people who are engaged in trade, in business, in these parts, the waterways are a solution for very many of the problems. The tiles moving from Morvi to the northeast is a classic example. It takes 40 days by the conventional mode. The breakages are 20% plus. If it is done by Waterways, the routes are well established. It's going to take shorter. The breakages are going to be less. It's going to be economical. So there can be a whole host of commodities which can follow this path. It is for you to look at it. We are here to ensure that the infrastructure that is required, the policies that are required, we are aggressively moving to make it happen. Mr. Bhatia has mentioned a few things. We acknowledge that there are still a few glitches which needs to be settled. We have been in dialogue with our friends in Bangladesh, with the other ministries, and I'm sure we'll be able to resolve these issues and make sure that the waterways becomes the dominant mode of transport, at least in these areas where they are absolutely viable and make business sense. I thank you all once again for joining in, and I look forward to your wholehearted participation, not in this conference, but in this business of taking the waterways forward. I thank you all once again. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Dr. Sanjeev Ranjan, Secretary, Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways, for sharing his thoughts. And that's the objective of any conference is, as we say, and our president has always been saying, that the issues of the members must be taken up so that the right concerned stakeholders give. So today the chief guest has already shared on all the points that how Government of India is basically working. And I was just sharing it with my colleague when I was coming to this conference with Mrs. Millie Dubey, that we work on 3 C's: convergence, collaboration, and connectivity. I think that's very important when we see that at the government level, the government is also, planning to have the same set of things and then ensuring that the issues are resolved. So, Mr. Bhatia, I would request on behalf of PHDCCI, you become our patron member, and then so that we can take up such issues, not only in Delhi, but also, of course, and I believe our chairman would agree with this, he comes to the logistics committee and then take it forward to the next level, all the issues of the industry. Sir, may I have your request to take a few questions? Okay, great. So, I would now request, please, if you have any question, please introduce yourself and kindly be brief. You have any question? Yes, please give a mic over here. He is our former managing committee member of PHDCCI. Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. It was a pleasure attending this conference. It was very good and knowledgeable. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah. In fact, I have been associated with the Inland Waterways for a long time when Sri Amitabh Verma-ji was the CMD of this. And then in that time also he had visited our chamber and I used to visit his office. And first incident I came to know when we visited, our chamber had taken a delegation to China and we met one of the companies there, which was into manufacture of precast piles, construction piles. And they said that they want to set up a factory in India, which is near the river shore, so they can transport it throughout India. I was wondering which river shore he can set up his factory so that he can transport it in Jharkhand. In our country, almost 80% of the inland transportation of business takes place to the rivers only. Similarly, I realized the same thing in Europe. In Antwerp, the ships unload there and then entire Europe gets it to the internal waterways. But you said hardly 4% of our transportation takes place. When I talked to Amitabh ji, then he said that our rivers, the banks are a little higher. They have to clean for the steamers to move. And
so what is your question?
So question
Please come
is
on the
that
question.
when we say that almost 4 to 6%, what is the roadmap for that? And second is that when we say that we were talking about the stone, Jharkhand was an example, which in fact, my partner in China, they got the order for blast stone to be put up the ADB project from Chittagong to Dhaka, but it was transferred because of the pollution norms in China. We gave it to certain companies in Jharkhand. They were not able to export it permanently in the sense there was a problem of what is that called?
Sir, what is the
Royalty,
question of
royalty
that's
in
okay.
What is your, please ask
Sir,
your question, please.
if there is that royalty problem can be sorted out with Jharkhand government, then the transport will take place very fast. And because of the railways and lorries were difficult, if moves to the steamers, it will be very good. If that royalty problem in Jharkhand can be sorted
So
out.
this question is from the chairman of Inland Waterways Authority. He will solve the royalty problem.
Secretary.
Okay. Secretary Saab, you want to comment on the royalty problem?
I'm talking to government of India, sir. I'm
Thank
not
you, thank
talking
you,
to-
thank
When
you.
we talk about.
These are new opportunities which we
Second
mentioned.
thing is that this Lafarge factory, which is there in Dhaka, the CFO is a friend of mine. The mines are in Indian territory and the factory is in, so if that limestone can also be transported, as he was telling.
Okay, we got it, sir. All yours.
Thank you very much. This is the advantage of interacting with the industry bodies like yours. We get to understand the end-to-end kind of issues. Now, while the waterways part and the transportation part, we are committed to making sure that it happens. The other issues that you have flagged will also take it up with the concerned agencies. But the fact remains that, for example, the Aricha Dulijan section is a new section which has just got added to the addendum. So as you mentioned, it opens up new opportunities for people in that area. And therefore, the issues of mining leases, royalty, etc., are going to become more important. And we got to be addressing it with the concerned state government. I'm sure the state government should also be cognizant of this new opportunity like the businesses and will be able to solve it together.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And now,
From here, one
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
I'm Arun Kumar Das from Swaraj. My question is that, sir, how it is going to add to the PM Gati Shakti plan, the waterways, because that is the focused area now.
This is exactly in the result of PM Gati Shakti that we are talking of multimodal connectivity. The roadways, the railways are the traditional ways of transportation.
No, my question is only on waterways. How many
Absolutely.
kilometers we are going to add? in the
Absolutely. And the focus of the Gati Shakti program is to look at multimodal connectivity and how it can help reduce logistic cost. And in that scheme of things, waterways make eminent sense on some of the routes that we discussed. The examples that were presented to you are examples that we need to be looking at. And as part of the Gati Shakti initiative, work on the solutions to make sure that the industry benefits from it, the logistics costs come down, the ease of doing business improves. So it's an approach where all the verticals of the government, all the stakeholders work together, and some of the issues that we discussed apply to waterways, apply to our ministry, but it is only where all the verticals work together can the real benefit in the true sense of Gati Shakti, what is the approach, is going to help the industry. So we're here for that. And I'm sure there will be more issues of this kind, which we would like to flag, and we combined should be able to address those.
Can you quantify, sir? Can you quantify it in the terms of rupees and kilometers added on the waterways?
Yeah, absolutely. The volumes of cargo that has gone up in the recent past, as was mentioned. The last year, 21-22, the volume was one of the highest. The inland waterways did 109 million metric tons of cargo, which was a 30% increase over the previous year. And with waterways being one of the cheaper modes of transport and less polluting, this is a great advantage that is going to accrue to businesses and the people of the country in terms of savings of cost as well as reduced pollution.
thank you, sir. The gentleman at the back. Ladies and gentlemen, let me also share it with you before you ask. Commodore Ghulam Sadiq ji is also with us. So I believe there are a lot of people, those who are doing business, through inland waterways. If you have any question from that side, you can also ask. Over to you, sir.
My question would be to Commodore Sadiq as well
Very good.
as Shri Bhattacharya. My name is Parthapatim Das, and I head a consulting firm by the name PGI Associates in the space of market entry and technology transfer. NW1 and NW2 is very strategic for India. And for Bangladesh also, when we talk about Brahmaputra Yamuna, it's the Brahmaputra Yamuna river system that we talk about. Every year during May to July, we get the issue of flood coming in. This being a national waterway with so much of, cargo flowing in, what specific flood management, flood control management initiatives have been taken by India as well as Bangladesh? If you can some light on. Second part is to Mr. Bandyopadhyay. India has actually in terms of clean energy for running ships. And even we are, cooperating with Nordic countries for that. Any specific initiative we're thinking of, contemplating for inland waterways in this space, clean energy, without going for the fossil fuel one? Please.
Okay, thank you. So first, let's go to Commodore Sadiq. Sir, he's asking that what the flood management initiatives which government of Bangladesh is taking, or the future plans as far as the flood management is concerned. Would you like to speak, Commodore, on this? Kindly unmute yourself and then speak.
Yes, thank you very much for the question. You know that we have a huge problem of, especially in the monsoon, we have huge problem of this flood because of most of our rivers have been silted for various reasons, and also for heavy rainfall on your side, also there are flood problem there. So our water resource ministry has taken a lot of projects, especially that one of that is that our 10,000 kilometer revival of the water routes. So if we dredge our rivers, we are getting our depth will be increased, and so that our water flow will not be inundating our the lands. Another is we are connecting most of our canals who are or the tributaries of the rivers. Some of them are silted, and the mouth or offtakes are closed. So we are also planning to do a lot of opening, like the Gorai from the Ganges, and also old Brahmaputra. From the Brahmaputra, we have a river going southeastward. That is the old Brahmaputra. In 18th century, it was the route was shifted due to some earthquake. So we are opening that route also, and we are also making a lot of additional reservoirs of waters and also polders, so that during the monsoon the water can be directed towards those reservoirs, and in winter we can use those waters. So these are the plans, and a lot of projects are going ahead. I don't have the details to tell you now, but if you send any questionnaire in our email, in my email I'm putting into the chat box, I will be loving to share our projects and the initiatives that are taken. I hope I have cleared myself.
Thank you, Commander. Thank you very much, sir. Now I come to Chairman. Sir, if you can kindly share on clean energy, the gentleman which he has asked about the initiatives.
So in clean energy, first of all, we, the ministry had, it has sanctioned an amount for a hydrogen fuel cell vessel, hydrogen fuel cell ferry, and it has been funded to CSL, Cochin Shipyard. That will be moving in on our waterways at Varanasi. And it is, the fuel cell is designed in India by KPIT, the storage technology and the transmission by ISRO, and the vessel and its design by Cochin Shipyard Limited. So that is on the hydrogen fuel cell. On the vessels moving on the inland waterways, you must have heard that Kochi Metro has ordered 23 electric ferries to Cochin Shipyard Limited. So the place, starting from the places where the metro ends, the overground and underground metro ends, and where the inland waterways are just adjoining to these stations, from there the electric ferries will take people to the neighboring islands. Similarly, we are also trying to promote electric ferries on Ganga, on Brahmaputra, and other places in the country. So this is the green vessels we are trying to promote.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. One online question, sir, before we wrap up. Ms. Ruchika Kothari, Chairman, sir, she's asking in terms of cost economics, how effective is water trade, and especially for the agri products?
No. See, water transport is the cheapest. If you compare to road, it is 0.8 times. It has reduced by 0.8. That is 0.2 times of the road transport. And it is 15% cheaper than rail transport. So road transport is cheapest. If you see all the developed countries, the countries where the logistic cost is lowest, Germany 8%, Germany, Netherlands, Belgium 8%. There the water transport is much higher. It goes up to 28%, 30%. So if you have, that means the cheaper mode of transport is the water transport. But there are issues of first and last mile connectivity. Because it is produced in the land in the factories and goes to warehouses in the land. So for that efficiency has to increase, and multimodal rail and road has to be also tied up with the terminals of the waterway. But all slow moving cargo, long distance cargo where waterway is an option, if they are used, the cost of transportation is the cheapest.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Before we wrap up, though I was expecting number of questions from the MOX team, all these inspiring ladies are here from the same team. I thought some question would be there for our Bangladesh guest, but now we wrap up over here. If you have any questions, you can ask through email. And before we give the formal vote of thanks, may I request Mr. Pradeep Multani, President, PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, to please present the PHDCCI memento. First, let me share it with you, Commodore Sadek. We will be giving your that PhD memento to our chairman over here whenever next you are coming over here, or we will give it to the Bangladesh High Commission so that you receive this, in a physical format, because virtually we can't give this. So now I would request Mr. Pradeep Multani to give first to Dr. Sanjeev Ranjan, Secretary, Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for this small token of appreciation on behalf of PHDCCI. May I request President to also please give it to Shri Sanjay Bandopadhyay, Chairman, Inland Waterways Authority of India. A big round of applause. A small token of appreciation on behalf of PHDCCI. I would request Mr. Sandeep Wadhwaji to kindly give a small token of appreciation to Mr. Akshat Bhatia, Head of Multimodal MOX South Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, we come at the end, and before we have a high tea, on behalf of PHDCCI, I assure you that we are going to have such meaningful programs, not only in Delhi, but also at all the places where we have the issues on the inland waterways. And as I have requested the chairman, as far as cruise is concerned, we would love to connect with his authority so that we can have people, those who are having issues, especially with the cruise tourism, and we can be part and parcel of this. And last but not the least, I would like to sir, that's my job, sir. I have to basically connect you for the tourism, and tourism is my passion.
MOU with us from Varanasi to Bougainville.
Oh, wow. So, sir, we will honor that MOU, sir. And we would love to, thank the sponsor, MOX, and this program would not have been possible without their support, and especially to the team of MOX which are here. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. All the people, those who have joined online, the authorities from Bangladesh, all my friends, brothers and sisters of Bangladesh, especially the Bangladesh High Commission and the Commodore, and people, those who are sitting over here in a physical format. Ladies and gentlemen, we will come back with a more meaningful program like this on the supply chain, water issues from the logistic chairman. Till then, thank you very much. Bye-bye. And please join us for the high tea. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.